breaking news right now on CBS 2 News at 6 p.m.
Video just in from Sky 2 of LAX. Moments ago, airport police gave the all clear after a suspicious package scare on one of the busiest travel days of the holiday. Airport police are now reopening the ticketing area at the international terminal.
What a headache for travelers. And traffic is now finally being allowed to flow again past Terminal 3 and the Tom Bradley Terminal. LAX operation says a police dog apparently tipped off authorities about a suspicious package, but it was later determined to not be a threat. And again, you can see the cars are starting to creep through. Earlier, we saw everything was at a standstill.
That's right. We have more breaking news. Gunfire at a Downey motel. Tonight, 2 people are dead.
CBS 2's Chris Holmstrom is live in Downey, where investigators are trying to solve this mystery. Chris.
Suzanne and Peter, this all happened around 11:30 this morning. Downey police still out here investigating. They've actually blocked off this whole area of Rick's Motel. Go ahead and take a look. Now, the 2 bodies, they're still out here. Their bodies were found in the parking lot you see right there. And within the past hour, police gave us a suspect ID. Now, take a look at this. This is who police are looking for. He's 29-year-old Joseph Raymond Penland. But that's all police are giving us right now. Information as to what exactly happened, that's still unknown. Well, I spoke with some neighbors. They tell me this motel is a long-term stay, so many people actually live here. And I spoke to one of those residents who lives here. He says that he heard the commotion this morning, and he hasn't been able to re-enter his home ever since. Take a listen. What did you see?
Just a couple gunshots. We were leaving to the movies. We heard some commotion, and we just still left, mind our own business, left, and I guess we found out 2 people got shot and killed.
And again, police investigating 2 people found dead at the parking lot of Rick's Motel. The suspect, Joseph Raymond Penland. But once we get more information, we'll bring it right to you. Reporting live from Downey, I'm Chris Holmstrom for CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Chris. And we have breaking news in San Bernardino National Forest. A brush fire near Running Springs. As many as 250 firefighters are now on the scene. Officials say 50 acres have burned so far. But the flames are just 5% contained. So far, no structures are threatened. CBS 2 meteorologist Amber Lee is tracking the weather conditions firefighters are now up against. Amber.
All right, Suzanne. Well, we haven't had a lot of rain this season at all, so that vegetation is pretty dry. And we're also looking at temperatures a little bit warmer in some spots today, especially inland. But up in the mountains of San Bernardino County, where this fire is burning just a little bit south of Running Springs, it is about 68 degrees. We do have some lighter winds and occasionally some light gusts. So you can see that the wind's coming in from the southwest at about 9 miles per hour with gusts up to about 8. And then our humidity is actually pretty much on par to where it should be right now. So we are still looking at some drier conditions because we do have high pressure out to the east of us, but we also have a low pressure system to the north of us. So as we head into the next couple of hours, the weather conditions should work in the favor of the fire crews trying to get a better handle on that fire. So that's something we're going to continue to monitor. But today we topped out closer to normal, 80 degrees for downtown LA. I'll tell you about a big warming trend on the way. Back to you.
War is not the answer.
A huge turnout in downtown LA today, including some big stars for the Families Belong Together protest. Those rallies for immigration rights happening from coast to coast. Protesters and politicians came together demanding the Trump administration reunite families. CBS 2's Greg Mills in downtown LA with more on the local protest, where there was turnout from both sides of the argument.
Being taken away.
At least 75,000 packed Graham Park, according to organizers. One of hundreds of protests across the country, taking aim at the president's immigration policies, especially separating immigrant children from their parents. This couple brought their 4-year-old daughter here.
I cannot imagine a child her age being separated from her mom or dad and not knowing what's going on.
The president reversed his separation policy, but many here worry the emotional impact on the kids can't be reversed.
We're going to freak them out and put them in cages. That's completely immoral and inhumane. It's like you can't treat kids like animals.
What's going on? What's going on?
John Legend dusted off Marvin Gaye's classic. In the minds of many here, that is probably just as relevant today as it was in 1971. Speakers addressed policy concerns for about 2 hours.
We are better than having these detention facilities that are prisons where we house mothers who have been ripped from their breastfeeding children behind barbed wires. We are better than this.
The speaker lineup, activists and Democratic politicians. The mayor was greeted with a sign questioning his policies. And on this warm summer day, letting ice melt away was a hot topic.
It's done nothing but tear families apart and terrorize immigrant communities.
Our nation would be overrun with foreign criminals if it weren't for the good men and women at ICE. They do a great job.
She was one of a handful of President Trump supporters who greeted the marchers when they left Graham Park for the federal building. That's where ICE detainees are kept. Protesters camped below detainees' windows saying in Spanish, "You're not alone." Things went very smoothly today. LAPD says no trouble at all. In downtown Los Angeles, Greg Mills, CBS 2 News.
All right, we have some breaking news now from Portland, Oregon, where thousands of people are protesting the Trump administration's family separations. You can see how violent it is. There are counter-protesters. Police have been called in. We've seen some clashes, and there are unconfirmed reports that police have been using tear gas to try to disperse the crowd.
In Washington, D.C., thousands marched toward the Capitol. Celebrities were also in the crowd, including Hamilton producer Lin-Manuel Miranda, who sang for the protesters.
I had spent nights without sleep, searching and searching for my son without knowing where he was, a torture day by day.
Alicia Keys read a letter from a mother whose son was taken away, and actress America Ferrera talked about her immigrant background.
And one of the biggest rallies was in New York. Thousands of protesters poured through the streets of Manhattan, even in the blistering heat. They marched across the Brooklyn Bridge to a federal courthouse.
And back here on the West Coast, check this out. Thousands of protesters gathered outside City Hall in San Francisco. President Trump has signed an order to end the practice of separating families, but about 2,000 children have yet to be reunited with their parents.
All right, turning now to other news. NBA free agency starts tonight, and the rumors that LeBron James could be joining the Lakers are heating up.
That's right. LeBron, LA, that's right. Our JB Long is here with more.
Well, he has landed in LA. Now the question becomes, will LA land King James? He was spotted out of Van Nuys Airport earlier today, returning from vacation in the Caribbean with his family, just in time for free agency to tip off tonight at 9 Pacific time. LeBron, as we know, has owned a house in LA for several years and often vacations here in the summer. Yesterday, he declined to exercise his player option with the Cavaliers, making him a free agent. And according to reports, he won't meet with Cleveland in person once free agency begins. The Lakers consider the favorite to land King James because they have the most cap room and have the ability to sign 2 max contract free agents. Now Magic Johnson and company will attempt to close the deal. And it's worth pointing out that while contracts cannot officially be signed until Friday, it is very common for these deals to be finalized during this negotiating window. So we wait.
Okay,
I've seen so many tweets out there, too. Even the Rams were tweeting about him.
Well, he has come to a few games at the Coliseum, yes, further cementing his ties to L.A.
Nice.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see how
everything
it shakes out. Thanks, JB. Well, homes threatened by a broken water pipe coming up.
A heartbreaking sight for members of one local church. What caused all this damage? We'll let you know coming up.
Plus, the weed apocalypse is this weekend. Many marijuana products need to be sold by tonight before tight new regulations begin.
And from pot to goats, how these things are helping keep humans safe.
Drone Force 2, only from CBS 2 News.